Please welcome Grant Genske, who will sing our national anthem. Please rise as you are able and remove your hats.
Whoa, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Grant. That was beautifully done. And now is my great pleasure to welcome the 10th Chancellor of the University of California, Berkeley, Nicholas B. Dirks. Chancellor Dirks.
Graduates, family, friends, and guests, welcome to the University of California, Berkeley, and to the Spring 2015 Commencement. It's great to be here with you in Memorial Stadium today. All Bears are winners today. Graduates, you in particular are the winners today. You join and you renew the long line of alumni reaching back to 1868, whose lives are forever entwined with this great university. Today, you become one of some 470,000 living alumni worldwide who can proudly call themselves Cal graduates. Everyone here has traveled a distinctive path to arrive at today's graduation. Some of you are the first in your family to graduate from college. Others are fourth-generation Cal graduates. Whether you've come to Berkeley from near or far, from one of our local Bay Area communities, or from countries around the world, today's event has special significance for all of you. The entire Cal Berkeley community is so proud of your achievements, but today, no one is prouder than those who have stood by you with their understanding, their love, and their support. Graduates, please join me in thanking your families, partners, children, friends, and mentors, everyone who's helped you get here today. Commencement is a time-honored ritual, a major milestone in your lives, and it recognizes the transformative experience of your time at Berkeley in the company of our brilliant faculty, our dedicated staff, and your diverse and talented classmates. But when all is said and done, we gather today to celebrate your extraordinary accomplishments. You have been educated at the world's finest public research university. Now, I use the word public here not because it qualifies or diminishes the preeminence of what is now your alma mater, and not to deny our increasing reliance on private sources of revenue such as philanthropy, which we'll keep reminding you about in years ahead. No, I use the word public because Berkeley's public contributions and ethos are at the core of who we are, what we stand for, and how you have been prepared, and indeed how you have prepared yourselves for the world outside Sather Gate. What makes Berkeley a public institution in an enduring sense is our commitment to provide our students with a rigorous education focused on and informed by the centrality of the idea of contributing meaningfully to the public good. You have learned through critical reflection on and engagement with some of the most fundamental human debates of our time. You've engaged past traditions and future challenges in conversation with some of the greatest scholars, intellectuals, and researchers in the world. And you have begun to participate in the production and development of the knowledge that is expanding our imaginative, our scientific, and our technological frontiers, often in research done right here on this campus. As Berkeley graduates, you are as well prepared as possible to negotiate a future that is being transformed so quickly by new technology, expanding globalization, changing social and economic structures, new cultural and political challenges, and troubling environmental trends. Indeed, you will not just negotiate the challenges ahead, you, like so many before you, will be leaders and innovators in finding ways to meet and overcome these challenges. If we've done our job well, however, you will also be committed to renewing commitments to the public good by giving back to society and by tackling these great challenges facing our world today. These challenges, as well as the salient opportunities that are part of your prospects ahead, are now global in scale, whether in the form of poverty, climate change, the quest for sustainable sources of energy, more equal and widely distributed economic growth, global health, new political, social, and cultural movements, and daunting levels of international conflict. We know how committed you are to contributing to the public good in the truest and the deepest sense of the word. There's abundant evidence, however, that the very idea of the public is in some serious trouble. There's been a palpable decline in our collective confidence that government, and by implication, other public entities, have the capacity or even the inherent aptitude to deliver basic services and to meet emerging needs. This, of course, stands in marked contrast to attitudes prevalent not so very long ago, when there was a broad national consensus about the efficacy and value of public institutions when it came to things like addressing poverty, building infrastructure, confronting environmental degradation, providing health care, or for that matter, ensuring access to high-quality education at every level. Now, whatever we might think about the role of government in this day and this age, we know that we should not, we know that we must not retreat to an idea of the world as defined solely by private interests and perspectives. And we know this is especially true in the domain of education. Education is increasingly seen as benefiting only the individual, and even that has been seen as compromised by the political drumbeat that calls for us to think of our mission as solely vocational. As an unfortunate consequence of this, the fate and the future of one of this country's greatest ideas, the joining together of moral and practical education for as many of our citizens as possible, with public institutions that are every bit as elite in their research and in their teaching as any private, is under great duress. But as graduates and now beneficiaries of this uniquely American system of public higher education, you have a large stake in the success of our efforts to preserve not just the university's access and affordability, but also our excellence at every level in our research, our teaching, and our service. This means taking collective pride not only in supporting alma mater, but in finding new ways for us together to define and inhabit the meaning of the public in our current age. You can be, I dare say you must be, advocates with business in the private sector, as well, of course, as with the public at large and our political representatives, to help us marshal the full range of intellectual, political, and financial resources required to continue our mission and to ensure that the University of California at Berkeley remains among a handful of the leading institutions of higher education in the world. Now, this quest to secure and sustain our public mission has nothing to do with nostalgia for days gone by. We live in a time when the need to reanimate our commitment to the public sphere, a precondition not just for the effective operation of our democratic political system, but for all of our institutions, private and public, not to mention for the development of new and necessary forms of global governance and global citizenship, is more important than ever. The only space where prevailing issues of inequality, prejudice, fear, and violence can be engaged and addressed with any hope of real success. During your time here at Berkeley, you have been encouraged to take on issues that matter. And now that you're leaving, you must continue to speak out with the wisdom, perspective, and determination of figures who have gone before us, like Martin Luther King Jr., who famously said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter." Berkeley is an institution that over its history has come to stand not just for free speech, but for critical engagement with the world, impatience with pieties and norms, and interest in matching ideals and rhetoric with the way we conduct ourselves, both as individuals and indeed as an institution. But your task now is to use this education you've had here to help us engage these challenges and threats in productive ways in the days and the months and the years ahead. Your education here has taken place both inside and outside the classroom, but never forget the power of the ideas, the knowledge, the intellectual curiosity, and the ideals and values you have gained while here at Berkeley. You've learned not just that education is one of the greatest gifts we have, but that it is critical both to train us for careers and to realize our full human potential. You've also learned that knowledge is power, and now the task is to use this power to address the most significant challenges of our time, including perhaps most centrally the importance of making education itself at all levels accessible for all members of our society. Now, thank you. Now, of course, as you enter the world beyond Sather Gate, whatever that world will be for you, we would ask you not to forget the lessons of your time at Cal, but also to carry Cal with you. You are now part of the greater Cal family, whose members help sustain each other and the campus in order to ensure that the dream, the promise that is Berkeley, remains a reality for future alumni for generations to come. May the education you have received here serve not just your lives, but your society well in the years to come. May your lives be richly rewarding and fulfilling, and may you enjoy great happiness, not just today, but for the rest of your lives. Congratulations, best of luck, class of 2015, Fiat Lux, and go Bears! So, it is now my pleasure to introduce the Haas International Award recipient. It is a Berkeley tradition to present at commencement the Elise and Walter A. Haas International Award to honor an alumnus or alumna who has a distinguished record of service to his or her native country. This year's awardee is alumnus Patrick G. Awa, Jr., who earned his MBA in 1999 from UC Berkeley. Dr. Patrick Awa is the founder and president of Ashesi University, a private, not-for-profit institution that has quickly gained a reputation for innovation and quality education in Ghana. Ashesi aims to contribute to a renaissance in Africa by arming a new generation of entrepreneurial leaders with the critical thinking skills and the ethical courage it will take to transform their continent. Today, 14 years after the university's founding, Ashesi graduates are working for progress across Africa. In 2012, Ashesi University was one of the top 10 most respected companies in Ghana, and Patrick Awa was named the 4th most respected CEO in Ghana. Patrick holds bachelor's degrees in engineering and economics from Swarthmore College and an MBA from UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business. He is a member of the US Tau Beta Phi Honor Society for Excellence in Engineering, and he's received honorary doctorates from Swarthmore and Babson College. Patrick's been nominated as a global leader by the World Economic Forum and received membership in the Order of the Volta by His Excellency President J.A. Kufuor. Among many awards, Patrick has been recognized with the Microsoft Alumni Foundation Integral Fellow Award, the John P. McNulty Prize of the Aspen Institute, and the Leading Through Innovation Award for UC Berkeley Haas Business School. This year's Fortune magazine named Patrick one of the world's 50 greatest leaders. Africa will be transformed under the leadership of bright young Africans who are educated in Africa, taught to think critically, to question, to solve problems, and above all, to care. This, indeed, is the gift that Ashesi will be for a newly revitalized Africa, a catalyst for new enterprises and new solutions. It offers a model for many other universities in Africa, and it is with great pleasure that I present now the Elise and Walter A. Haas International Award to Patrick G. Awa, Jr.
Thank you very much. Chancellor Dirks, Dean Lyons, thank you so much for this honor bestowed on me today. Actually, I feel like this is yet another of many gifts that I have received from an institution that has a very special place in my heart. You see, the work that I'm doing at Ashesi University, the project for which I'm honored today, started here at UC Berkeley. Colleague students who worked with me on feasibility and business planning, faculty who helped me with curriculum design and strategic advice, architecture students who drew up our first conceptual sketches for a campus in Ghana, a dean who served as the chair of my board of trustees. They have all helped create an institution that will touch thousands of lives and touch directly thousands of students, but millions of lives on the African continent. Over the past 14 years, we have seen students and alumni who have led peacekeeping squads across the continent, who have worked on infrastructure projects that will dramatically transform the power infrastructure in Ghana, who have built electronic commerce companies and software, most recently, who have participated in very crucial ways in the fight against Ebola in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. The Berkeley community truly has contributed far more to me and my project than I anticipated when I applied to join the Haas School of Business. And for this, you have my eternal gratitude. I would like to dedicate this award to my wife, Rebecca, without whose steadfast support I would not have founded Ashesi or brought it as far as it has come. I have learned a lot on this journey, and this prize only reminds me that there's a lot more work to do. There's a lot more that I need to dedicate myself to. Dear class of 2015, if I had to give you one piece of advice, I would urge you to dream with passionate idealism, to act with pragmatism and determination, and above all, to invite others to join you on your respective journeys. It is a wonderful thing when you have a tribe with you on your journey. It certainly has been for me. Thank you all very much again, and God bless.
Each year, we honor our finest teachers by awarding them the Distinguished Teaching Award through a very rigorous competition. The recipients of this award are truly great and inspired teachers, and it's my great pleasure to announce to you this year's Distinguished Teaching Award recipients. They are Associate Professor Kathleen Donegan from the Department of English, Associate Professor Daniel Feldman from the Department of Molecular and Cell Biology, Professor Ulrike Malmendier from Economics and the Haas School of Business, Professor Francine Maciello from the Department of Comparative Literature and Spanish and Portuguese, and Associate Professor Lev Michael from the Department of Linguistics. Let's give them all a big round of applause. It also gives me great pleasure to acknowledge awards to some of our very many outstanding graduates. The Jake Gimbel Prize goes to David Kravish. The Anna Espenshade Prize goes to Carolyn Peel and Cindy Tran. Good. There you are. And the University Medal finalists are Miranda Landfield, Matthew Nguyen, Meg Parrott, and Aaron Winkers. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Congratulations. Thanks. It is now my pride and honor to introduce our next speaker, Radhika Kannan, UC Berkeley's most distinguished graduating senior and the winner of the University Medal. Radhika earned the highest distinction in economics and conservation studies and was an award-winning member of the Cal mock trial team. Having grown up both in India and Singapore, two areas plagued by drought and floods, she developed a passion for environmental justice and hopes to help indigenous groups and farmers in India. She's headed to the University of Oxford for a master's degree after this graduation. Underneath her academic success is a strong spirit driven by the sudden loss of her mother during her junior year here at Cal. Please join me in welcoming Radhika to the stage as she shares the lessons she learned from her ups and downs as a student here at Cal, but her triumphant survival and success as well. It's my great pleasure to welcome Radhika Kannan. Here you are.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Chancellor Dirks, or since the Chancellor also speaks my mother tongue, Mikka Nandri. Good morning, professors, family, and my friends of the class of 2015. It is an honor to stand before all of you today. When I first came to Cal, like other students, I was driven to excel, to be the best in academics and in all the other activities I was involved in. Like other students, I wanted to fulfill my sense of intellectual curiosity. Cal brings out our competitive side, our independence, and the drive to push our boundaries. As we leave college, those qualities will serve as well. In fact, it's why Cal graduates succeed. And some will say, rule the world. It wasn't until later in my undergraduate career that I realized that happiness comes not just from academic success, but also from letting people into my life and reaching out to build support systems in my community. Feeling at home was not something that I expected when I came to college 8,000 miles away from where I was born and raised. But it happened to me. During the winter of my junior year, My mom died from what started out as the flu. I could not understand how, in a span of 3 days, someone who I had just talked to and who had laughed at my crazy jokes could somehow cease to exist. I learned that as much as I looked for answers for what had happened, some events in life are unpredictable and don't have clear answers. Coming back to college was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I felt my mother's passing in the smallest of details, from seeing freshmen moving in and remembering how she had flown in with me to help me do the same, or something as mundane as hearing someone say they needed to call their mom. Among my group of friends, I began to feel like an outsider, someone who was incomplete. And to be honest, there are still times that I feel that way. But I had to accept that this was my new reality. I would not be able to call my mom about my bad days, my good news, or even that econometrics final, which I had studied so hard for, but still felt like I knew nothing. It was in one of those moments when I was emotionally at my lowest and really did not feel like facing college every single day that I understood that I had to let people in. I had been fiercely independent to the point where it was a source of pride for me not to ask for help. But I needed help. That was how I found another dimension to Cal. The people. People who I had never before approached for any kind of personal assistance helped me in such unexpected and touching ways. My professors, teaching assistants, and academic advisors opened their doors and opened their hearts, sometimes even sharing personal stories of loss with me. They helped me meet deadlines, plan my life, and sometimes just have a good cry in their office. My financial aid advisor at Cal, who ensured that my budget appeal went as smoothly as it could, so I didn't have to worry about financial aid while grieving my mom. And my Bear family, from Cal Mock Trial, the Student Advocate's Office, my dance team Natya, and my friends from Corey, where I spent far too much time. They gave me a sense of hope, optimism, and just made me laugh in what was such a dark time for me. Don't get me wrong, Cal is a competitive environment, but the people here pull for you no matter what, and that's what stays with you for life. The way in which we stand by each other makes for a solid foundation for becoming resilient. As new Cal graduates, we like to have a plan, but all of us are afraid that those plans might not pan out. The fact is, life is really unpredictable, which all of us will find out to varying degrees. I am not ashamed to admit that I am afraid for the future. But Cal has taught me how important it is to have people that stand by you when things don't go according to plan, and even when they do. But the support system doesn't just work one way. You have to be there for others too. Can we agree that it is important to reach out when you have the power to affect someone else's life? Can we agree that as Cal graduates, we have an obligation to be there in the community for others? And I'm sure we can all agree that letting people in and reaching out can be so rewarding. Let's face it, we're going to need all the resilience and all the personal support that we can get. My fellow graduates, we are entering a world that is changing faster than ever, from climate change to population growth, but one that is also improving every day, from electric cars to better energy access. We are the generation that will have to deal with it all. So I leave you with this final thought. I urge you to think about which communities you can let in and which communities you have the power and ability to affect. So thank you for your time. I hope you have a wonderful graduation with your family and friends, and I wish you all the very best for your future. To the class of 2015, go Bears! Go Bears!
That was wonderful. I think you brought the sun out, too. Now please welcome Subha Rangarajan, Anna No, Pamela Sherman, and Laura O'Neill, class of 2015 Gift Committee, with a special presentation to the university.
Good morning, faculty, friends, family, and members of the graduating class of 2015. We are proud to be here representing this year's senior gift campaign. First and foremost, congratulations, class of 2015. Woo! We would like to thank you for your participation and commitment to maintaining Cal's excellence for future Golden Bears. This long-standing tradition of giving back started with the class of 1874, with a gift of $48.10 towards textbooks. This year, our class has given to a wide variety of departments, majors, and programs on campus to support current and future undergraduates. To honor our senior class gift, a plaque will be installed on Donnell Plaza. Our plaque will always remain a symbol of the seniors class dedication to helping future Cal students like past alumni have done for us.
We, along with the rest of the Senior Gift Committee, have been honored to lead the 2015 campaign. This year, 1,538 seniors were inspired to leave their legacy at Cal by making a contribution to the senior class gift. We would like to thank all of the seniors who have taken this opportunity to make the Cal experience possible. We gave back because seniors before us made our Cal experience possible, and we want to pay it forward. We will give back so that Berkeley stays the #1 public institution in the country. And now, without further ado, we would like to present you, Chancellor Dirks, with the class of 2015 senior gift of $90,000, $684.29.
Thank you, class of 2015. Thank you to the Senior Gift Committee for your spirit of generosity and enduring commitment to Cal. We'll be back.
Good morning, class of 2015. My name is Natasha Chowdhury, and I'm the Vice President of the Senior Class Council. I'm graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Peace and Conflict Studies and a minor in Luso-Brazilian Language and Literature. On behalf of the senior class, I am honored to introduce our keynote speaker today. As many of you know, Mr. Marc Benioff is the founder and CEO of Salesforce. Since its inception in 1999, Salesforce has served as an inspiration for growing software companies by creating new models for technology, business, corporate philanthropy, and management. They are currently the fastest growing top 10 software company in the world and the #1 customer relationship management platform. As its leader, Mr. Benioff has been recognized as Business Person of the Year by Fortune magazine, one of the best CEOs in the world by Barron's, and also received the Economist Innovation Award. Mr. Benioff's entrepreneurial spirit took shape when he was 15 and founded his first company, Liberty Software. A Bay Area native, he attended Burlingame High School and funded his college education at USC with his company's earnings. But he didn't stop there. Mr. Benioff continued to manage his company out of his dorm room and worked 2 summer jobs with Apple while earning a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration. During his first internship at Apple, Mr. Benioff was inspired by the culture created by Steve Jobs. As he says in his book, Behind the Cloud, it was like getting paid to go to Disneyland. To the same effect, I was inspired by Mr. Benioff's advice to gain real-world experience through my focusing on building relationships with customers. After reading his book, I solidified my post-graduation plans to stay and work in sales in the Bay Area. After his graduation from USC, Marc Benioff returned to his Bay Area roots by accepting a full-time job with Oracle. While at Oracle, Mr. Benioff's career rose quickly, and he became the youngest person to hold the title of vice president within the company. As the CEO of Salesforce, Mr. Benioff has used his influence to advocate for social justice issues. This past March, he canceled all of Salesforce's events in Indiana as an act of protest against the state's Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which allows businesses to deny services to same-sex couples. Within his own company, Mr. Benioff has worked to provide equal pay for women and has created a program to elevate more women to leadership roles. The perseverance and values that Mr. Benioff has demonstrated throughout his career align with the principles that we as UC Berkeley students value most. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome our keynote speaker for the class of 2015, Mr. Marc Benioff.
All right, well, hello, Golden Bears, and good morning. What an incredible day it is here. Well, thank you, Chancellor Dirks, and esteemed professors and alumni and parents and grandparents and family members, and thank you, Natasha, for that great welcome. I am delighted and honored to be here today with all of you, and to our seniors assembled here today, recovering from your final exams, late nights at KIPS, and all-nighters at Moffett Library. Congratulations on graduating from UC Berkeley, the #1 public university in the world. You've achieved something special, and now I hope you will be part of the amazing tradition and values of UC Berkeley graduates who have made a difference in the world and who have made the world a better place. Not to put any pressure on you, but as you might know, Berkeley faculty, alumni, and researchers have won 72 Nobel Prizes, 7 Fields Medals, 18 Turing Awards, 11 Pulitzer Prizes, and 20 Academy Awards. Of course, you don't need to win a prestigious award to make a difference. You don't need to win awards to make the world a better place. But as Chancellor Dirks just told me, it wouldn't hurt. So I'm looking forward to hearing about the results of the class of 2015. Look, it was nearly 30 years ago that I graduated from another California university, a little bit south from here, but you'll be happy to know it was not Stanford. Yeah, we can agree on that point. My family has very deep roots here on this campus. Both of my grandmothers graduated right here at UC Berkeley. Thank you. I was just with my grandmother, who will turn 103 this year. as well as one of my uncles, my many cousins, so I absolutely consider myself a part of the Berkeley family. But my alma mater does have a great football team, as you all found out this season. So I'm happy to root for the Bears as long as they're not playing the USC Trojans. My post-graduation celebration was quite brief. Just 2 days after graduating, I was working for a young company a few miles from here called Oracle. And some of you may have heard of it now, but I actually hadn't at the time. Early on, I knew that I wanted to be part of the software industry. As Natasha mentioned in her introduction, during high school and college, I programmed and sold video games. Fantasy adventures with crazy names like Escape from Vulcan's Island and King Arthur's Heir that ran on computers from ancient times long ago. Unfortunately, the supercomputers we all have in our pockets were more than 20 years in the future. Now, I was also lucky to work at Apple during my summer breaks, and that was an amazing experience, as Natasha mentioned. And when I joined the team at Oracle, the company had just gone public, as had Microsoft. And it was also the same year that Sun Microsystems, which was founded by Cal grads, went public. Oracle's revenue was just about $50 million, and within 3 years, it grew more than tenfold. It was a rocket ship, and my own career was taking off. But after 13 years, I wanted to start my own company. You know, I felt strongly in my heart there must be more to the values of business than what I was experiencing at Oracle. I came to the realization that companies can do much, much more than just build and sell products. They can be platforms for change. They can tap into much higher values, and they can improve the state of the world. So when I started my company in 1999, I made a commitment to 3 things. 1, a new technology model, now known as the cloud. 2, a new pay-as-you-go model with a single-minded focus on making customers successful. And 3, a new philanthropic model deeply integrated into our company, focused on improving the state of the world. That day that we started Salesforce, we took 1% of our equity, 1% of our employees' time, and 1% of our product and put it into a 501c3 public charity called Salesforce Foundation. Of course, creating a charitable foundation didn't mean much at the time. We had no product, we had no employees, and there was no equity. But it turned out to be the best decision I ever made in my career. Today, Salesforce is the fastest business software company ever to reach $5 billion in revenue, and our dream and commitment is to be the fastest to $10 billion as well. And with that success, our foundation has also been a rocket ship. It has been able to give 25,000 nonprofits and NGOs, including, I just heard Patrick, free licenses to our software. Our employees have volunteered close to 1 million hours in our communities, and we've distributed nearly $100 million in grants. We integrate our foundation work into everything we do, and when new employees show up for their first day of work, we show them where their desks are. Yes, we even introduce them to their colleagues, and we even show them where the kitchen is. And then we take them out and we spend the afternoon outside of our office volunteering in a homeless shelter, a soup kitchen, a K-12 school, a children's hospital, or doing something for someone else. Now, thank you. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Well, it's who we are. It's core to our cultural values. We know that as a business from our early days when we struggled even to find customers until now, it's the right thing to do. We can only do well by doing good. And I know that the best and brightest, like you, who are graduating here today are looking for more than a paycheck, though one would not hurt. You want to have meaning in your work. You want to work for companies that value all stakeholders, not just shareholders concerned with earnings per share. But every employee, every customer, every part of our community, and even our environment. All of these things are the stakeholders that are critical to the success of business. I can assure you that global warming, failing school systems, lack of equal pay, and our way too low minimum wage are not good for business. We have 16,000 incredible employees around the world who volunteer their time to make the world a better place. And if you haven't landed a job yet and want to change the world, you can email me at CEO@Salesforce or tweet me at Benioff. And we've been already lucky to hire 100 Cal grads. So we'd love for you to join us too. Now here we are in Berkeley, beautiful here, with its great history of civic engagement, its chancellor steeped in the values of India, and of course, civil disobedience. In the 1960s, the free speech movement took on this university as the country was struggling to pass Civil Rights Act, which would end discrimination based on color, race, religion, sex, or national origin. One thing I didn't mention when I started our company 16 years ago, and I couldn't even imagine this was even possible, was that Salesforce would be embroiled in a national debate on equality and civil rights. But as Natasha mentioned, just 2 months ago, we landed right in the middle of one. In 2013, a couple years ago, we bought a company for $2.5 billion, which made us the biggest tech employer in Indiana, a long way from Berkeley. I received a call from the head of our team in Indianapolis with concerns about a bill making its way through the Indiana legislature. The Governor Pence was considering whether to sign the Religious Freedom Restoration Act into law. As written, it would allow businesses to discriminate against gay, discriminate against lesbians, discriminate against bisexuals, and discriminate against transgender peoples. A coffee shop could not post a sign, "No gays, no lesbians served here." That was amazing to me. Now, of course, here I am. My office is in San Francisco, the summer of love, the home of gay rights. I cannot imagine that we would have an office in a city with a sign in the window that said "No gays and no lesbians served here." That to me was like turning the clock back 60 years. You don't have to watch the movie Selma to see what discrimination looks like in this country. You can see it all too often in our country, in our government leaders, and around the world. And I knew, and I liked Governor Mike Pence. I never thought there was a chance he would sign that darn legislation. It was unfathomable to me that those were his values. But I didn't know what was in his heart. So imagine my surprise a week later when I was driving home to San Francisco from an event at the Computer History Museum. I learned he signed that bill into law. I was incensed. I was in the back of this car driving down 280, and I just got so pissed. I just tweeted, "We are forced to dramatically reduce our investment in Indiana based on our employees' and customers' outrage over the Religious Freedom Bill." And the next morning I tweeted again, "Today we are canceling all programs that require our customers' employees to travel to Indiana to face discrimination." I couldn't imagine asking my customers or asking my employees to go to a state that would discriminate against them. It was incredulous to me. Needless to say, those tweets got some attention. Later that night, I emailed some of my friends in Silicon Valley to let them know about the issue. I have a few friends, it turns out. And when they learned more about it. They were just upset as I was, and they started tweeting, sending emails. They even went on TV and saying, "This cannot stand." I had no idea where all this was going. This was not familiar territory to me. It was not what I learned in business school, but something big was unfolding in real time. I was just doing what was right for our employees and our customers. I was just trying to protect them from this misguided law. But more than 100 tech leaders responded to the situation. Nationwide, they called for LGBT non-discrimination protections, and dozens of very large companies like Apple and Levi's, Marriott, Microsoft, Nike, Eli Lilly, Cummins Engine, they all stood up in opposition to the law. It was an unstoppable force, a powerful campaign aimed at overturning the law. And within a week, Governor Pence signed an amending law. He changed the law. He had to. He had to take a step forward, and he had to protect the rights of the LGBT community in Indiana. This experience showed me that when companies and when businesses and when leaders and when individuals engage in civic issues, they can be powerful platforms for change. They can give voice to those who cannot be heard. And a few weeks later, I became aware of another important issue affecting our employees. It was brought to my attention that there was a possibility that some women in our company were being paid less than men. That goes completely against our values, who we are, and why we started our company to begin with. I knew this was a problem in general for our society, that there's some unconscious bias that favors men in business, but I didn't consider that could possibly happen in our company. So now we're going salary by salary for all of our 16,000 employees to ensure that every woman at the company is fairly paid and has the absolute same opportunity as every man. One man booed. Like Indiana, this is an example of how we can not accept anything less than equality for all. Equality for all. It's how we need to question every assumption we make. I've learned that companies can be platforms for change. Platforms for change in their culture and values. Platforms for change through technology. Platforms for change through improving education, through protecting our environment, and through doing good deeds. But that's not all. I also learned that it wasn't just companies as platforms for change. It was every employee. It was myself. It was every teacher, every worker, every government leader, and that all of us need to realize our role in improving the state of our world. By using my voice and my values, I was able to affect change, and so can you. And that's my message for you today, graduates. Each one of you has received an amazing education, the best in the world. You're leaving with a highly prized degree from this incredible university. And in fact, it's not winning one of those awards or accolades that's important. It's the values of this university that are important. The things that took root here in the 60s. The values of disruption, of change, of advocacy for equal rights, of giving back. It's applying our knowledge, experience, our energy to make the world a better place. We live in the most amazing time with incredible progress in science and technology, and at the same time, we have lots of perils in the world, societal perils like income inequality and global conflicts. Environmental perils with our oceans getting polluted with plastics and getting clear-cutted, and too much carbon in our atmosphere creating global warming, and technological perils with coming rapid advances in artificial intelligence with unknown outcomes. But I am confident that we have a bright future, that we can overcome these challenges because each of you are future leaders. instilled with the values of this great university, UC Berkeley, will be a platform for change. Class of 2015, you are the people who are going to change the world for the better. Make it happen. Thank you, and go Bears!
Thank you for those words of wisdom, your valued guidance, and your inspiration. Now please welcome Graham Hall, who will perform an original song written by Graham himself entitled A Mystery.
Thank you. Well, I think the Egyptians had it right when they decided to pray to that big ball of light. So much around them they couldn't explain, like why the earth shook and why it didn't rain. But look at us now, fighting over who is right. Well, who gives a damn? We're all humans in different light. So much around us we cannot explain, like where do we go at the end of this game? Well, you and I, we're not so different after all. We're all still alive, 'cause that great ball of light is shining down on us all. Well, physicist, philosopher, man of faith, you may know more than me at the end of the race, but there's one common ground I hope we all can agree. Where we go when we're dust is still a mystery. Well, sit down, my love, it's all that I ask. You remind me that acceptance is something I like. Before I knew you, I never looked past myself. You taught me to accept the beliefs of everyone else. Oh, so let us be true, true to one another, so we may see this through to the end. 'Cause you and I, we're not so different after all. We're all still alive, 'cause that great ball of light is shining down on us all. Well, physicist, philosopher, man of faith, you may know more than me at the end of the race, but there's one common ground I hope we all can agree. Where we go when we're dust is still a mystery. Physicist, philosopher, man of faith, You may know more than me at the end of the race, but there's one common ground I hope we all can agree. Where we go when we're dust is still a mystery. Thank you. Go Bears.
Thank you, Graham. That was very, very nice. Thank you. Now it is my pleasure, my great pleasure, to introduce our Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost, Claude Steele, who will introduce the Deans of the University for congratulatory remarks. Provost Steele.
Thank you. Now it's your turn to be congratulated by your deans. So I am pleased to introduce the deans of the schools and the colleges of the University of California at Berkeley, who will in turn introduce candidates for the degrees in course in their respective groups. That's you guys. And those candidates will be expected to rise as they are introduced. So that's your job. Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Doug Clark, Dean of the College of Chemistry.
Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I present to you the chemically bonded, pH-adjusted, energetically balanced, and thermodynamically favored members of the College of Chemistry, class of 2015. I wish to salute and congratulate all of these industrious and tireless students of perpetual motion who are receiving degrees in chemistry, chemical biology, and chemical engineering. They have studied and mastered the elements from actinium to zirconium, balanced chemical equations while conserving mass and energy, and spent countless hours reacting, measuring, and analyzing in laboratories that have served as the proving grounds to numerous Nobel laureates. They have worked very, very hard. So hard, in fact, who can blame them if they occasionally stray from equilibrium and believe they are graduating from the University of California at Berkeley and can be heard at Cal sporting events chanting, "Go Barium!" But they always return to a stable, steady state, which has led to the polished product we have before us today. We all live in a chemical world. Our lives, our environment, our energy, our food and medicine, indeed all products we rely on for our daily routines are impacted by the activities of chemists and chemical engineers. These extremely dedicated and multi-talented men and women before us today are the scientists and engineers who will lead the way in developing processes of sustainable chemistry that will ensure the products society needs can and will be provided in a socially and economically responsible manner. They are, after all, UC Berkeley graduates. Thus, Mr. Chancellor, I humbly request that you carry out the remaining transformation that only you can perform and grant these students the degrees they have rightfully earned, along with all rights and privileges thereto attached.
And now, Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Jennifer Walsh, Dean of Environmental Design.
Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I present to you the ingenious, inspired, and intrepid candidates from the College of Environmental Design, class of 2015. Originating from countries around the world, these candidates represent our academic departments, majors, and programs: architecture, urban studies, city and regional planning, landscape architecture and environmental planning, sustainable environmental design, and urban design. Our graduates are the next cadre by virtue of their Berkeley education and the support of the Worcester Hall community that are uniquely prepared to design cities that are beautiful, just, and sustainable, places that serve our everyday lives and that remain forever in our memories. From Berkeley to Beijing, from New York to Nairobi to Mumbai to Mexico City, our graduates are designing zero net energy and water buildings, resilient infrastructure, and effective climate action plans. And they are tackling such major issues as affordable housing, racial segregation, income inequality, and urban transportation. Building on CED's legacy of design, ethics, and activism, they emerge as practical visionaries with the expertise and ability to guide us into the future, which is surely a future of cities. Now, Mr. Chancellor, I beseech you to grant these extraordinarily creative, capable, and committed Berkeley students who have met the demanding requirements of our curriculum the degrees to which each of them have so meritoriously earned, along with all the rights and privileges thereto attached.
And now, Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Shankar Sastry, Dean of the College of Engineering.
Chancellor Dirks, it is my great pleasure to present to you the candidates from the College of Engineering. And the majors in computer science and management science and operations research from the College of Letters and Sciences. Class of 2015. Berkeley engineers are the original change agents. They have mastered all the disciplines that study change, from the micro to the macro, from differential equations and quantum mechanics to the economics of technology innovation and strategies that promote sustainability, social mobility, and better health care. Our engineers are unique in their ability to look at a problem and design a high-impact solution that changes people's lives for the better. Let me just tell you about a few of the ways that these Berkeley engineers are already mastering the design of technology innovation, of change. They're restoring cognitive function to people disabled by brain injuries. They're achieving usability, security, and resilience in systems of great complexity, from energy grids to transportation corridors. They are alleviating poverty in the developing world by creating solutions for safe drinking water, sanitation, and wireless access. They're creating opportunity by inspiring and mentoring young people in our local middle schools and high schools. Chancellor Dirks, before you stand today, the thermodynamic, the industrious, the electrifying, the constructive, the inventive, and more than anything else, the ingenious members of the class of 2015 from Berkeley Engineering. These candidates have successfully completed the rigorous requirements prescribed by the faculty of the college for the bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees. I ask you, Chancellor Dirks, to grant these graduates the degrees they've so rightfully earned so that they can go forward and change the world. Go Bears!
Mr. Chancellor, it is now my pleasure to present Rich Lyons, Dean of Haas School of Business.
Chancellor Dirks, I present to you an outstanding Berkeley Haas class of 2015. In 2010, we wrote down a set of 4 principles. a set of 4 principles that have been part of UC Berkeley for longer than any one of our lives here in this stadium today. We then, to make sure we were taking it seriously, drove these 4 principles through all of our admissions decisions, undergraduate and graduate at Berkeley Haas. Those 4 principles were: 1, question the status quo, by which we mean questions like, isn't there a better way to do this? 2, confidence without attitude, because true confidence comes without arrogance. 3, students always, by which we mean learning even when learning is hard. And beyond yourself, a sense of stewardship for something beyond just you and your career. These principles will continue to anchor you, all of you. You are part of this Berkeley community. They will support you. They will, in the world of work, differentiate you. They will help you build the platforms of change that Marc Benioff talked about, and they will serve you, as Patrick Awuah told us, in bringing others along with you. Congratulations, and Chancellor Dirks, this is a group we need to graduate. Congratulations to all of you.
Chancellor Dirks, it is now my pleasure to present Anthony Cascardi, Dean of Arts and Humanities.
Most honorable, most venerable, most distinguished, and distinctive Chancellor Dirks, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelors of Arts in the disciplines of the Arts and Humanities of the class of 2015. Chancellor Dirks, I will now issue an instruction which has a very good chance of being followed. Candidates, please rise. Risen candidates, I salute you for your collective and individual achievements ranging across some 19 departments in the arts and humanities: art practice, art history, classics, comparative literature, East Asian languages and cultures, English, film and media, French, German, Italian studies, music, Near Eastern studies, philosophy, rhetoric, Scandinavian, Slavic languages and literatures, South and Southeast Asian studies, Spanish and Portuguese, theater, dance, and performance studies. Mr. Chancellor, please join me and the echo of my voice in saluting and congratulating these candidates for what they have attained in their studies. And please join me also in challenging them to go forth and make the world a more diverse place culturally, more literate, more thoughtful, funnier, happier, more beautiful, and more humane than when they entered these walls. Mr. Chancellor, I beseech you to perform the speech act by which they will be transformed into Bachelors of Arts. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present G. Stephen Martin, Dean of Biological Sciences.
Biological Sciences graduates, please stand. Mr. Chancellor Dirks, before you stand the graduates from the Division of Biological Sciences in the College of Letters and Sciences. and graduates of interdisciplinary programs in the biological sciences. They have participated in a revolution, an intellectual revolution, yet a revolution more radical than the Bolshevik one, yet considerably less violent. They have learned that our fate is determined not by our stars or by our karma, but by the nucleotide sequences in our DNA. They have learned that we arose not in some garden in Mesopotamia, but by evolution from primate ancestors, and they're prepared to do battle with the armies of ignorance who would argue otherwise. Safely stored in their hippocampuses are memories of molecules from alpha-ketoglutarate to omega-3 fatty acids, together with the fact that memories are stored in the hippocampus. In the course of their studies, they have listened to professors mumbling before blackboards. They've read papers apparently written in some obscure Armenian dialect. They've carried out experiments that prove nothing, and they've tried to distinguish between indistinguishable small brown birds. Now they are graduating and about to leave the civilized world, aka Berkeley. But the biology that they have learned here will arm them to heal the sick, to make new wonder drugs, to save the planet from climate change, to feed the world, and to continue to investigate the mysteries of life on this planet. And so, august and revered Chancellor, I do not know exactly what rights and privileges are attached to the degrees conferred by the University of California. Minimally, those rights and privileges must surely include dinner with you at Chez Panisse. He said, all right. It's on the house. But given these talented students' achievements and lofty goals, I beseech you to use the truly awesome powers delegated to you by the President and Regents to grant them not only the degrees that they so richly deserve, but also each and every one of the rights and privileges thereto attached. Thank you.
And now, Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Francis Hellman, Dean of Mathematical and Physical Sciences.
That was a tough act to follow. Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I present the remarkable class of 2015 from the departments of Astronomy, Earth and Planetary Science, Mathematics, Physics, and Statistics. I want to share with you one of my favorite quotes by the great physicist Marie Curie. She said, "I was taught that the way of progress was neither swift nor easy. As students at Berkeley, you have likely witnessed the magical but often difficult transition from learning things already known to finding a way to discover and create new knowledge. You're here at graduation. You have succeeded in meeting the many challenges you faced and are standing at the threshold of a world full of opportunities and challenges. As a fellow physicist, I speak to you today as your colleague, and I'm very proud to see all of you. I believe a life worth living is one where you challenge yourself to move beyond what is easy, move away from things you already know, and instead pursue things that challenge you, forcing you to expand, discover new things about the universe and about yourself, to become stronger and more caring of others along the way. I congratulate you on your accomplishments, and now, Mr. Chancellor, I respectfully ask that you grant these amazing, remarkable accomplished students this degree, which they richly deserve, along with all these mysterious rights and privileges that are attached to it.
Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Carla Hess, Executive Dean of Letters and Sciences and Dean of the Social Sciences.
Mr. Chancellor Dirks, I am proud to present the more than 2,000 students in the Division of Social Sciences, class of 2015. The largest and most diverse division of the Berkeley College of Letters and Sciences. Students in the social sciences make up almost a third of this year's entire UC Berkeley graduating class. Congratulations to all of you. As social scientists, they understand the power of numbers and the voices of many. They come from the departments of African American Studies, Anthropology, Demography, Gender and Women's Studies, Geography, Economics, Ethnic Studies, History, Linguistics, Political Science, Psychology, and Sociology. They've shown leadership in organizations across our campus. They've shown leadership on our playing fields, in our communities, in Sacramento, in Washington, D.C., and on every continent of this globe. Through their studies and their commitment to service, they have met and will continue to meet the most compelling challenges of our times. Because the most compelling challenges of our times are not just technological challenges, they are social challenges, and they demand leadership and solidarity to be solved. From climate change and human migration to social diversity and inclusion to inequality and behavioral change at home. Congratulations to all of you, and I ask you, Mr. Chancellor, I even beseech you, Mr. Chancellor, to grant these remarkable students in the social sciences the degrees that they have so richly earned and all the rights and privileges thereto attached. Go Bears!
Very big group. Now, Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Bob Jacobson, Dean of the Undergraduate Division, who has on very cool Berkeley shoes.
Wise Chancellor Jerks, I present to you our colleagues from the class of 2015 in Interdisciplinary and Area Studies from the College of Letters and Science. Please rise. All of you. There we go. These people have spent years mastering areas from cognition to our international world. They know that questions about media, religion, and about America are not simple, and they're prepared to address them from multiple perspectives. In their chosen fields, they're searching for truths that can only be pinned down from multiple directions. From computing to our political economy, they're out to shape our future. There's actually more standing up than I'm responsible for, but that's okay. They all understand that Go Bears is actually an expectation. Go, keep going, and do great things. They've worked hard on their first steps toward doing that. So, wise Chancellor Dirks, I recommend you grant these students the degrees they've so broadly earned because we're proud of them and we're going to be proud of them. Tell them to go, Bears, do great things, and hopefully stay in touch.
Mr. Chancellor, it is now my pleasure to present J. Keith Gillis, Dean of the College of Natural Resources.
College of Natural Resources graduates, please stand. Chancellor Dirks, I present the class of 2015 from the College of Natural Resources. As Berkeley students, they've questioned conventional wisdom, the status quo, and the faculty at every turn. They've pursued rigorous programs of study that span the biological, physical, and social sciences, the arts and humanities. Their unwillingness to be constrained by the boundaries between these disciplines gives me great hope for the future, since solving the challenges of achieving social justice or environmental sustainability, or of deepening our understanding of how ecosystems or organisms function, all demand a wider perspective. These students are united by their capacity to see the bigger picture and their desire to make a better world. A world that will include not just the sustainable cities of Dean Walsh's vision, but also sustainable forest, grassland, desert, and agricultural landscapes. I'm confident that you all will do exactly that when you leave Berkeley, justifying our affection and admiration for you all. Thank you for allowing the faculty of the college to be a part of your intellectual path through this institution. Chancellor Dirks, I respectfully ask that you recognize the achievements of these remarkable men and women by granting them the degrees they have earned from our beloved institution, along with the rights and privileges thereto attached.
Mr. Chancellor, it is now my pleasure to present Amani Nuru Jeter, Associate Professor, School of Public Health.
Good afternoon, School of Public Health. Will the most awesome graduating class of 2015 please stand up? Photobomb. Good afternoon. I stand here to salute you on behalf of the School of Public Health and Dean Stefano Bertozzi. This is a tremendous accomplishment. You should all be proud. Now, go get a job. No, just kidding. Relish your moment. Enjoy your success. You have overcome tremendous hurdles, namely epi and biostats. And not to mention that pesky dissertation that you thought you would never finish, but you did it. For those of you who don't know, our soon-to-be graduates do or will do everything from building healthy communities, reducing the burden of infectious disease and environmental hazards, ensuring effective health systems and policies, monitoring and reducing the domestic and global burden of disease, and creating solutions to some of the most challenging health problems of our time. And of course, making sure this is all significant at a P less than 0.05. To the graduates, what I want to say to you is to never ever forget why you do what you do. To create a world where each person, regardless of skin color, gender, age, sexual orientation, neighborhood, religious affiliation, and disability status has the opportunity to live to their full potential. That means both shifting the population mean and also bringing in the tails of the distribution, maximizing positive health outcomes for all. You all know that one's zip code is more predictive of health than one's genetic code. That is the task at hand, ensuring health for all. And when the going gets tough, and it will, look at your degree, i.e. your receipt, and remember that you are a graduate of the #1 public research institution in the world. You got this. In conclusion, I'd like to leave you with one of my favorite quotes. The greatest thing to come from hard work is not what you get for it, but what you become for it. Your degree matters, but who you have become matters more. I see you. We all see you. Each of you matters. Go out and change the world. Now to Chancellor Dirks. These soon-to-be graduates who stand before you have mastered their craft, completing all requirements for their respective degrees. I therefore ask that you grant these students the degrees they so richly deserve with all the rights and privileges thereto attached. Congratulations, Public Health!
Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Jeffrey Edelson, Dean of the School of Social Welfare.
Well, Amani, I think you'll be a new future dean. Last but not least, Mr. Chancellor, I present to you with the graduates of the School of Social Welfare. Please stand. Social workers challenge conventional wisdom to find innovative solutions to the difficult structural problems in our society. They focus on such problems as family violence, juvenile delinquency, mental illness. But they also focus on producing new knowledge, interventions, and social policies to improve the health and well-being of our society, such as supporting elders to continue to live in their homes, helping medical systems promote the health of patients in their daily lives, and changing social organizations and structures to prevent the oppression of those in the margins of our society. Our students choose UC Berkeley because of its history of social action and innovation. This year, many of our students were active in the Black Lives Matter movement. Their organizing skills, their demands for change, their ability to steer us all in a better direction have deeply impressed us. I'm extremely proud of the social welfare students who hold us to expect our society to live up to its ideals and hold our communities and faculty accountable to be our best selves. Later today, over 200 social welfare graduates will participate in our school's commencement. Today's social welfare graduates have collectively provided over 100,000 hours of community service studying for their degrees. 90% will remain in California continuing to work for our common good. They live the public mission of this university. So, Mr. Chancellor, we don't beg or besiege, we advocate as social workers. So I strongly advocate to you, sir, to grant these amazing change agents the degrees that each of them have earned, along with the rights, the power, and the privilege they have earned. Thank you.
And now the time has finally come. Will all graduates for degrees in course please rise for the conferring of the degrees by our own revered Chancellor Nicholas B. Dirks.
All right. Having listened to the exhilarating entreaties and advocacies of our fabulous deans, I am completely persuaded to go on with this program. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the President of the University of California, I hereby grant you the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Arts, Master of Science, Bachelor of Arts, and Bachelor of Science. Congratulations, graduates. You may now move your tassels from the right side to the left. Go Bears! You can throw it up. Yeah, go. Please welcome Stephen Lai, President of the Senior Class Council of 2015, for the closing remarks.
It is such a great honor to speak today as a Senior Class Council President. When I first came to Berkeley, I never imagined that I would have this opportunity. As a result, I'm fulfilling a promise that I made long ago to begin any major speech I made with, "Mom, I love you." When I was 11 years old, I watched helplessly as lung cancer took my father's life. Despite the challenges my mom faced in raising two young boys by herself, she did not let this great loss hinder our education, our personal growth, so that we would have a productive and fulfilling future. She taught me a powerful lesson. Calamity does not define one's destiny, but how one reacts to it does. All of our families have been instrumental in shaping our lives, and we would not be who we are today without them. Please take the time today to thank them for their love and support. I am very grateful to have come to Berkeley and to have joined the Californians Club during my freshman year, which has led to this speech today. Even though each of our Berkeley experiences have been unique, I think we can agree that these have been the most memorable years of our lives. We came here as the top of our respective classes, and we are leaving here with many answers and many more questions. As a result of the challenges we faced, we have become stronger, more refined, and more intelligent versions of ourselves. Wherever you go, and whatever you do after you go out into the real world, I sincerely hope that you will continue pursuing your diverse interests and know that you can make a difference in any aspect of the future. As long as you believe in yourself, you will be able to succeed. And let us remember the one thing that unites us all. Go Bears!
Rallying round her banner.
Thank you, Golden Overtones and Men's Octet. And thank you to the Rally Committee for the banner and the cannon. And now, as we come to the end of our ceremony today, let us thank you for attending the Class of 2015 commencement ceremony. Congratulations to the graduates and their families. Please remain in your seats until the recessional has been completed, and then join your graduates on the plaza level outside the stadium. We wish you all a pleasant and safe afternoon, and one last, Go Bears!